It's Friday, May 10th, and I'm your host, Paula Hersey. On Barnstable today, we talk clams with natural resources, learn more about the Artist Shanty program, take you out to the ballpark, and fill up your calendar of events for May. Now for a look at municipal and legislative news. Mark your calendar. Barnstable Recreation summer registration opens this Tuesday, May 14th. From beach soccer, mountain biking, and street hockey, to a kids' test kitchen and baking classes, and even a police or fire academy, there is something for every child to keep them busy and engaged over the long summer break. Go to www.townofbarnstable.us and download the summer program brochure to choose your activities. Remember to register early. Programs do fill up fast. Grab a bucket, a rake, and the family and come learn to shellfish. Liz Lewis, a shellfish technician for the town of Barnstable, joins us in studio with the 2019 dates for clamming with kids. How do you get kids to know and love their environment? Well, let them dig some clams. With me today, Liz Lewis, Natural Resources, and Shellfish Queen.
Yes.
I knew you would like that. So talk a little bit shellfish, all things shellfish, you?
Yes. So we're getting ready. We're gearing up. The water's finally getting warmer, so things are starting to grow again, which means we can move a lot of shellfish to places where people can get them.
That's actually good, because there's nothing worse than heading out with your rake and your bucket and not finding anything.
Yeah, that's part of fishing,
right.
You know? You don't always catch something.
Right.
But we do try to make it easier for people. You know, that's what we do. We try to supplement the wild population out there and get the quahogs to the people. Now that we're done with oyster season, of course.
Right, and that was a great season, by the way.
It was awesome. 1,000 pecks more than last year.
My goodness.
Yeah, it was awesome. I had a blast.
So this is Clammer Kid.
Yeah.
So kids and clamming, we went last year, and it was probably one of the segments that we ever did. Tell us a little bit about the event and when the classes are this year.
Okay, so it's a blast for kids of all ages, and I mean kids of all ages, but anyone is welcome to attend, even those adult kids, even though we do have separate classes for that. Anyway, we spend a few days before our classes. We fill up the area with tons of quahogs to make it easier for kids, and it's all about the kids teaching them how to clam. So we have smaller rakes that are built for kids, and we pair them up with volunteers, and they give you one-on-one, hands-on experience how to get those clams into your bucket. Everything from measuring them, you know, and recipes on how to cook them. We help out the parents to make sure that the kids eat them too, because they taste better when you catch them yourself.
They do,
they
actually.
do.
Dates?
So this year, Saturday, June 8th at 10 a.m. And Sunday, June 9th at 11 a.m. Hopefully the weather's good. A little earlier this year, because it's really hard to find a good low tide in June this year for some reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but we have Saturday and Sunday. They're usually well attended. We're working on parking, making that a little easier for people. But you don't have to be a resident to attend either. Okay. This is open to everyone. If you don't have a shellfish license, that's okay too. Usually we have enough volunteers that they donate part of their catch so you can take it home to eat too and try it out.
Oh, that's great.
Because we want to get more people involved. You know, if you haven't done it before, you might not necessarily want to buy the license or all the gear right away. Right. You want to see if you like it first, you know?
Right. And this is at Bridge Street Landing?
At Bridge Street Landing in Osterville.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you talk a little bit about volunteers. What I hadn't realized, but I did after the volunteer appreciation event in November, the shellfish program here at the town of Barnstable takes an enormous amount of manpower.
It does.
And our residents really step up to the plate.
Absolutely.
So what do you need for volunteers? I'm sure there's folks out there that are like, I'm going to do this.
Yes, and I love it. So we have over 100 volunteers that are on my email list. So if anyone wants to volunteer, you can send me an email at elizabeth.lewis@town.barnstable.ma.us and send me an email, and I'll send you one back, and I'll add you to my list. We had over 400 hours of volunteering last year, which was amazing. And we do everything from digging quahogs to relocate them, sorting them based on size, so legal ones can go right to the landings, planting our quahogs. So in the fall, we have a lot of these baby quahogs that are like Skittle size, and they have to be put under nets, and that takes a lot of work too.
Right.
So lots of, for all different ability levels. But for the clamming class, this is when I send out that panic email. All right, everyone, I need you all here this time. And they really come out. We always have so many volunteers that help us out. They come, they show up, and they get placed with a kid. And so everyone gets that one-on-one experience, which I think is priceless. It's so awesome to see all these volunteers wanting to help youngsters and get them into shellfishing, get them psyched about it.
That's, you know, I started as a kid, and it's a lifelong love of, number one, the food itself, shellfishing, but also the environment, because you learn, especially from these volunteers, a little bit about what the clams do to help our environment.
Right. And you want to make sure they're coming from a clean area.
Right.
So you have to appreciate clean water, too, if you want to keep eating that shellfish, which is really valuable.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Liz.
Yeah, thank you.
What is one of the first signs of summer in the town of Barnstable? Open doors on the Artist Shanties. Located on the Harbor Overlook and on Hyannis Harbor in Bismore Park, the colorful shacks house some unique artisans, jewelry, art, clothing, and more. Melissa Chartrand, Arts and Culture Coordinator, met Channel 18 on opening day to talk about all the exciting plans for the Artist Shanties this summer. The sun might not be shining today, but
the sun always shines at the shanties.
the sun always shines at the Shanties. With me today, Arts and Culture Coordinator Melissa Chartrand. This is the opening weekend.
It is here. It seems like it just ended, and here we are again. It's always a wonderful sign of warmer days.
Right. And this year, we're connecting more dots.
We are connecting more dots, Paula. The goal of the Shanty program and Main Street and all of our arts-oriented efforts are to just create that synergy between Main Street and Hyannis Harbor. Steps away from a thriving Main Street, you have a beautiful working waterfront, and we are indeed connecting the dots. We've added 2 more artist shanties this year, so there are 7 down at Bismore Park. We had 3 at the Harbor Overlook last year for our inaugural season. That's a tough word to say. And now we've just added 2 more. The shanties here are named for town beaches.
Fantastic. And what I really, really love about this, number one, they're really colorful, so they're catching the eye of passersby.
Yes.
But 2, the art that's in there, the artists that are in there are so diverse.
There really is a wide variety of talent and artwork. Absolutely. You have everything from jewelry and fine arts and fiber arts and photography and ceramics, and the list just goes on. And with each one of those categories, a wide variety with that as well.
Right, and there's some culture in there as well. Folks probably don't always know about the history of Hyannis, but for the next 2 weekends, the Hyannis Historical Society is here in one of the shanties.
I am thrilled to have them. They had reached out to ask when we put the call to artists out, and absolutely it's arts and history and those types of organizations. We've had authors here for literary arts, and I am thrilled to celebrate the history of Hyannis, and again, connecting those dots. And it's all about those connections. It's connections physically between Main Street and the harbor front. It's connections between the artist community themselves, the artists to the visitors that come through, and to our history and heritage.
And let's connect one more dot, because the performing arts are also here at the shanties,
Yes.
Mondays and Fridays.
Mondays and Fridays, live lunch. You can come out. What a great way to start the week and end the week. We have local musicians. Again, more creative economy that we are so happy to celebrate and engage with the community. So you can come out, listen to some local musicians play, grab a snack from the Snack Shack. We have a little sandwich shop from Main Street coming down to help fortify, and really what a wonderful way to learn about some of the other, the artist community.
And tell folks how they can learn more about the Shanty program, who's going to be here for the rest of the season, and everything else that's artful in Barnstable.
It's very easy, Paula. artsbarnstable.com has all the information with links to everything and anything you could want to know.
Excellent. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
The Barnstable High School ball fields have long needed an upgrade. Plans were shelved several years ago and now have found new life. The Field of Dreams will become the Fields of Reality. Channel 18 was on the baseball field for the groundbreaking to kick off the construction of the new athletic field complex.
Sun always shines on a field of dreams, right? Excellent day and a big day for all the children who will have an opportunity to really enjoy this field and bring it to its fullest for the community. A field like this isn't just about those who get to play on it, it's about all of us who get to see our families grow and enjoy the community at work and at play. It's always an effort of all of us to get together after it's been vetted properly by the school committee and by the needs of the schools. And this is just one of those things that occasionally debt gets retired, other opportunities become available, and sooner or later a field of dreams is a field of reality.
Field of Dreams, now a field of reality. That line from Town Councilor Jim Crocker is just resonating through the day. What does this mean to Division I sports here at Barnstable High?
Well, it's a tremendous day for BHS because we know that we have a plan in place, and that plan is now going into actions that will result in a real top-notch facility for our students. And I think for our student athletes, it means they can be real proud of their home school. And for the community, it means we're going to have a space where people are going to come out and come support their athletes and help build the sense of community that has always been so strong in the town of Barnstable. This project is going to help perpetuate that and move that forward. If you look around here, we all do different jobs, whether it's the students here to learn or all of us. If we stay connected and we continue to push, we will deliver what's absolutely the best for Barnstable High School students and for the community at large. So Meg, thank you. Mark, everybody who's been involved, this is an awesome, awesome day.
This is exciting. This doesn't happen by one individual, certainly vision by our school department and our town council, coordination with our superintendent and my office and staff, certainly leadership, certainly community commitment. I'm a strong believer that the way that we present ourselves is the way that we are treated. And I think that's an important lesson. Certainly, I'm here at all these fields a lot. I have 6 kids. They all come through Barnstable school systems. They all play on these fields. I tell it to them. I say it to their friends. I want them all to be proud of what we do in town, whether it's our beaches or our fields or our schools. It doesn't matter if you're in the classroom or on a stage or on a field. I want you to walk out of here being proud. I want you to come back. And I want you to say, I'm glad I came through this system. It's an excellent system. It's the best system that I could have come through, and I want to participate the rest of my life in it. And if we can achieve that, it's much more than just a baseball field or athletics fields. It's that commitment that makes our community great.
The next steps are, we've gotten permission now to begin excavation, so we'll start cleaning the grass and the topsoil off the site, start doing all our grading, and start getting ready to run infrastructure in and get all the pipes and what have you in, and hopefully be ready to start installing the synthetic turf around the August time frame.
If you build it, they will play.
They certainly will play on a beautiful, beautiful field.
This is a really an exciting day. The weather's cooperated. Tell me the sense, this project, 5 years in the making.
At least 5 years in the making. As I said, I became superintendent in the district in 2016, and it had been shelved at that point, some initial design work. So again, just sort of thinking about what is it that we can do to create or support Barnstable High School as the flagship of our community. This is a Division I program. We have more than 800 student athletes participate on these fields between and among the 3 seasons. And they really deserve the best that we can give them. And through a combination of school committee support and town council support and working closely with the town manager, as President Crocker said, the Field of Dreams has become the field of reality.
But I have the student athletes standing behind me today because this is why we do what we do, right? Is to create opportunities for our kids to have fields like this to play on, because we value not only what happens academically in Barnstable Public Schools, but what happens outside of the classroom as well. And I don't think there's anyone here that would deny the fact that our students deserve the very best, and that's what they're getting with our Field of Dreams.
Libraries are the hub of every village, not just a quiet place to check out books. Sturgis Library has a jam-packed calendar of activities for the whole family. Your local library is a hub of activity year-round, but more so as the spring and summer really heats up. With me today, Corey Fahrenkopf from Sturgis Library. You've got some pretty cool events coming up for the month of May.
Thanks, Paula, and thank you for having me today. This is awesome. We love when you come out to Sturgis Library. So yeah, I've got three major events I want to talk about. So the first is we've got our 2019 Seed Drive, which a lot of libraries around the Cape have seed libraries. So patrons from the library can come in, they can donate seeds, they can pick up seeds. So if you're looking to like grow tomatoes or grow beans, you can come here and grab a packet for free and plant them, and ideally it's a good way to start your garden. But the seed drive is basically we're looking for people in the community who may have extra seeds from last year's harvest, or may have bought a bunch of seeds and don't have enough space to plant them all, or for any reason you have extra seeds. We're looking for donations so that we can really get this program up and going. So that's our seed drive.
And what's the benefit of that for the library? You know, people coming in and donating seeds and getting seeds. How did the library get involved with something like that? It seems kind of off the realm of what you do.
Yeah, I guess the way that the library benefits from it is it gets more foot traffic in the door. People would hopefully take up more books on gardening, on farming, on seed storage and stuff like that. But more so, it's important for the community. It's not really like, we don't do a program like that with the thought of like, how can this benefit the library? It's more of, what does our community need? What are they searching for? How are they not getting this sort of content or this sort of program from other sources? And libraries are kind of looked at as like a community center these days, more than just a place that lends books. So that's kind of the role we're playing there.
Fantastic. What else you got coming up?
What else we got? We got the best named program so far. It's My Birdseed Brings All the Birds to the Yard, attracting native birds on Cape Cod. It's Tuesday, May 14th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. So once again, it's May 14th at 6:30. So Stephanie Ellis from Wildcare is going to come in and talk all things birds, mostly about how to attract native birds and migratory birds to your yard, how to plant native plants in order to like support them, looking into what kind of trees produce berries or produce nuts or produce like thistle, I guess, for certain types of birds, how to plant them in your yard, how to sustain this environment that will attract birds, because having feeders is awesome and that'll attract birds, but a lot of migratory birds will be much more excited to come into your yard and be like, ooh, you got a wild black cherry. I like eating those. So she'll talk about that. She's going to talk about, yes, bird feeders, what different types of seeds birds like, creating home space for birds because they really need nesting areas. She's also going to talk about how to identify fledgling birds that might have fallen out of a nest and like who to call when you see that, and also caution you away from approaching certain birds if you see them. So you're going to get a very wide view of all this sort of stuff. And she's bringing Nickerson, the one-eyed owl, to hang out with us for the day. I think he's a screech owl. He's an eastern screech owl. So there will be a live owl at this program if that entices you. I'm insanely excited that we're going to have an owl hanging out with us.
That and the last program that you have, I find fascinating. It's a little out there, but ancient farming?
Yes. So the next program we're going to talk about is called The Lost Secrets of Ancient Farming Culture. It's a history/folklore lecture by Ben Gagnon. It's going to be Tuesday, May 21st at 6:30 p.m. So Ben Gagnon is an award-winning journalist. He's been studying this for years and he's writing a book about it now. But he's basically going to be talking about how all around the world there are tons of famous religious and cultural sites. You look at like Stonehenge or different areas in South America. And he studied the migratory patterns of birds and figured that almost all of these major religious and historical sites are connected by bird flyover.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a lot of looking at the seeds that birds essentially brought from different areas and how that changed the crops and changed the flora and fauna of different areas, how people of the time worshiped the birds, thought they were I don't know if I want to call them like supernatural beings or messengers of gods or spirits or the souls of spirits. and how they basically formed certain parts of their culture around that idea, and how their different farming practices kind of worked in sync with that. So that'll be exciting. I'm all about like the history folklore lectures.
Yeah, that's fascinating. How can people get more information about all the events that you have here?
So many ways. So you can go to our Facebook. If you follow us on Facebook, we have a calendar on there that'll tell you everything. If you go to our website, sturgislibrary.org, there's a calendar tab. You can see month by month what's coming up. You can join our newsletter. So if you're at sturgislibrary.org, there's a link on the far right side of the homepage that says, sign me up for the newsletter. So we'll tell you all about the programs that are coming up. We'll tell you all about the different fundraisers, the different artists who are displaying this month, the new books that are hitting shelves. We also have our Instagram. I do a little bit of tweeting about it. There are many ways in which you can find the programs at Sturgis Library. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, here's to a busy season.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you very much, Paula.
Excellent. Thanks, Corey. Up next, things to do, places to go, and people to meet. The Barnstable County Regional Substance Abuse Council will host its 3rd annual Parent Summit on May 19th at 12 p.m. The summit will provide parents and caregivers with a practical know-how to steer their children away from the dangers of substance abuse. The summit at the Cape Cod Resort and Spa in Hyannis will feature nationally recognized relationship and family expert Lynn Griffin as the keynote speaker. There is no charge for admission, although pre-registration is required. More information and registration details can be found at www.bchumanservices.net. Now, for a look at upcoming meetings for boards, commissions, and committees. Today with this Mother's Day poem. You filled my days with rainbow lights, fairy tales, and sweet dream nights. A kiss to wipe away my tears, gingerbread to ease my fears. You gave the gift of life to me, and then in love you set me free. I thank you for your tender care, for deep warm hugs and being there. I hope that when you think of me, a part of you will always see. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms and those who mother us every day. Comments, suggestions, accolades, connect with us on Facebook, email us, or send us an old-fashioned note by carrier pigeon. Channel 18 works. For you, I'm Paula Hersey, and thank you for watching Barnstable Today.